Joining us now, NBC News White House correspondent Monica Alba and political and diplomatic correspondent for the Times of Israel, Tal Schneider. So, Monica, the White House released a statement regarding the call between President Biden and Benjamin Netanyahu. They used very specific language. I paraphrased it in my lead-in. What does this statement say, Monica, and what does it not say?
It's really notable, Katie, because we are seeing language in this readout that we really haven't seen in the many, many conversations between the president and the prime minister over the course of these 6 months of this war. For the first time, the U.S. is effectively telling Israel, if you don't take immediate steps to protect aid workers in Gaza and allow more humanitarian aid into Gaza, the U.S. is going to reevaluate its policy, which we are told, according to 2 U.S. officials, does mean that the U.S. could be potentially conditioning military aid that it gives to Israel based on whether in the coming hours and days they rectify some of this situation that the president communicated simply as unacceptable. So that's notable because we have been talking about this for months, Katie. The idea that rhetoric can shift and outrage can grow, but whether policy is actually going to change when it comes to military aid, that is another dynamic here that would be really, really significant if it does happen. So now we will wait to see whether Israel does respond and make any changes. And we did learn that some of the examples of that could be opening up more border crossings, again, to allow more aid trucks to get in. Right now, it's just a trickle. And then also ensuring that the Israelis aren't being as stringent with some of the inspection about what can be allowed into Gaza. That's specifically what the president pushed the prime minister on. And then the other really significant takeaway here is about calling for an immediate ceasefire and to accept the terms on the table right now for a hostage deal to release the remaining hostages, which effectively the president, we understand, told the prime minister, wrap this up, accept this now. You really cannot delay it. And that was in stronger and more stark terms than has been communicated in the past. And also, Katie, we're learning this new piece of information, which is that CIA Director Bill Burns will be traveling abroad again this weekend to continue those talks, and they hope nail down any kind of a hostage deal.
All right, so talk to me about what this is like in Israel now, how this international outrage over the deaths of these World Central Kitchen aid workers is playing on the streets of Israel. We've seen mass protests against Benjamin Netanyahu. What is it like there?
So first of all, this World Central Kitchen also helped Israelis in the days after the atrocities, after the massacre on October 7th. They were here inside Israel serving food to people who were displaced, and you know, we owe them a great deal from the Israeli people. So it's a very, very sad moment for everybody here. As per the demonstration, it's not a secret that Benjamin Netanyahu is not very popular at the moment. It was not popular even before October 7th, but really after the war, his numbers, took a deep dive, and many people are taking to the streets. You know, they are unhappy with the way the negotiation to get the Israeli hostages out are going. As you all know, there is 134 people inside Gaza snatched from their beds on a Saturday morning in Israel, barefoot, without glasses and so on. So they're still in the tunnels held by Yahya Sinwar, and people here are not happy with the way this government conducts those negotiations with the other side. It's a terror organization, and they want to release murderers in exchange for those people. But people here, they agree to it. So there's those demonstrations. There's also demonstration with respect to many other issues. Tonight is quiet. There was a tense day today. Everybody said that Iran attack is imminent. Maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow is the last Friday of the holy month of Ramadan, the Muslim holiday. So they expect maybe something to take place tomorrow. We don't know that for sure. There is not early warning. So it stands for tomorrow. I suppose if tomorrow will go quiet, then maybe the holiday. So the Muslim, we have many Muslims here in our society. They have a whole week of celebrations as of Saturday. And we do hope those days will pass so they can have their holiday, and we will not have, let's hope for that. I don't know if that's going to happen, but
it's been certainly obviously a very tense 6 months, but entering into another even more intense period with potential reaction from Iran. They're certainly threatening it. Tal Schneider, thank you. Always good to talk to you. Monica Alba, same to you.
Hey everyone, MSNBC has a new and improved app. You'll get real-time alerts and analysis, live blogs, in-depth essays, video highlights, and the best 2024 election coverage. Download the new MSNBC app. Here's how to do it. You tap on the App Store on your phone. You hit search on the bottom right corner. You type in MSNBC. You click on the MSNBC app. You click on Get or the cloud icon and enjoy it.